Now, listen up.
3, 2, 1.
It's showtime.
That's great. This is ridiculous.
99.3 The Truth.
You can't handle the truth right now.
Ooh.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Let's do it.
Hit it.
It's time for Mac's World. And here we go.
Everybody, let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Call Mac 244-0077 or text 809-0993.
It's showtime, everybody! Showtime!
Exclusively on 99.3 The Truth.
3:07. Good afternoon. 21st day of July in the third millennium. And, you know, I want to read you a little later. I got a really neat email from a guy by the name of Robert. And he explained to me, Chris, why this is the third millennium and not the second. And I will read that right now. Just let me get over here and get into my face. By the way, it's nice to have you back, Chris. You've been in Chicago, I understand?
I was. I went to the great city of Chicago. It's a beautiful city. If you like giant buildings, rode the L train and the subway. You know, it's a neat train. It goes underground and above ground. It does both things. It's like a little roller coaster. I liked it. Read the train, went to the Shedd Aquarium, went to the Art Institute of Chicago, went to the Adler Planetarium, touched a meteor from outer space.
So
it was there.
The meteor's on the ground, though.
Yes.
Well, you said you touched a meteor from outer space.
The meteor came from outer space, and I touched it.
And what was the meteor's name?
We didn't get to know each other that well.
Let's just call it Frank.
Yeah, Frank the meteor. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Did you go to the Broadcast Museum?
I did not. I did get my picture taken with the statue of Harry.
Marconi?
No, Harry.
Harry Carey?
Yeah. Me and
Seriously?
Harry. Yeah. Was at the Wrigley Field. Got a picture taken with the statue of Harry Carey. Okay. Texas Rangers beat the Chicago Cubs while we were there. It's all my daughter's fault. She's a great...
Wait a minute. That was Sunday.
Yeah.
So you didn't go to church?
That was Sunday. We saw the ball game. Yep. Texas Rangers won.
Did you go to church?
What's that now?
Bob, ask him the question, would you? So he may answer.
I'm not sure I understand. I'm not sure I understand what you mean, right?
Well,
Bob,
that you went.
The church is the people of Jesus Christ, right?
Did you go to a building?
I did.
Worship.
I did.
And worship.
Yes.
God.
Oh, no. No, just the Texas Rangers.
Did you get communion?
No. Well, no. Not unless you call nachos. Hey, you know what's really funny? I grew up going to...
Hey, hold on.
What?
You are absolutely trying to fly by this. The fact that you went on vacation with your family and you couldn't spend a couple of hours with God.
Oh, I spent more than a couple hours with God, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Smarty Pants.
You're talking about going to church, yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about worship. Like Moody Church. You're right downtown, right? Moody Institute.
See what happens. You tell somebody something in secret and they put it out on the radio. That's true. We stayed at a condo, actually, that was right in between the historic
at the
Media
Trump
Church.
thing. How can you afford that?
Well, we did not stay at Trump Tower.
You said you went to Trump Tower and you stayed in a condo.
Yes, not in the same. Yeah, it's not the same thing.
What was the name of the building with the condo?
I don't know I know the address, but
okay, go ahead.
It's on LaSalle Street, in between the historic
Holy
Moody
Toledo,
Church.
That's the expensive part of town, LaSalle.
Yes, it is. It was quite nice. I recommend it. Highly recommend it. Chicago's a great city to visit.
I'll bet you even cheated on your diet and had deep dish pizza.
Absolutely. It was fantastic. Now, I will say,
the last time you tell me about your vacation before the show starts.
I did not have a Chicago dog, though. I did not have the classic Chicago hot dog. I don't know. I wanted to get one at the ball game, but I just did not feel like eating at the ball game. Here's a funny thing. At the Texas Ranger Stadium in Arlington, Texas, all the food vendors have nachos. Texans, we eat nachos when we watch baseball games.
Mm-hmm.
In Chicago,
peanuts.
It was very difficult to find nachos. Everywhere you went, they had hot dogs and they had those Italian beef sandwiches, the hot beef sandwich. But it was very difficult to find nachos. But we did. We persevered. My wife conquered, and we found nachos. We ate nachos, watched the Texas Rangers beat the Cubbies. From the far third base side, we were right behind the yellow third base foul pole there. Way off in the back.
Did you catch any balls? Did any
No,
come
but-
your way?
A home run was hit right near us. Just obviously it was home run, so it was fair, but it was the same corner.
But you didn't get the ball for me.
No, I didn't. No, sir. And actually, it was a Texas Rangers home run, and so the Cub fans threw the ball back on the field, which I thought was nice. They showed their love and respect that way.
All right. Well, we've got a lot of news today, a lot of things going on around the world. Next hour, we should have Pastor Michael Damastis in. And so I want to save the Cruz talk, the Ted Cruz, Lion Ted Cruz. Is that what he called him?
That's what Donald Trump called Ted Cruz. Yeah, real nice guy, that Donald Trump. Really upstanding gentleman that would slander people in the social media. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Chris, we missed you.
What's that now?
We missed your salivating sarcasticness.
Was I being sarcastic?
I don't know. Were you?
I mean, I don't know. People that are voting for Donald Trump must think he's a great guy, right?
No, they probably just don't like Hillary.
Oh, yeah. Well, Bernie Sanders ran against Hillary. Did they vote for him?
Bernie Sanders is a socialist.
Yeah, but he ran against Hillary. If we would have gotten enough people behind Bernie Sanders, we wouldn't even have to be worrying about Hillary Clinton being president.
All right, I'm moving on. So, Robert, I'm just going to give you his first name because he didn't give me permission to give me his last name, sent this yesterday at 5:15. This is the third millennium, not the second. The first millennium went from Christ's birth till 999 AD. The second from 1000 AD through 1999 AD. And the third millennium started January 1st, 2000 and will run through December 31st, 2099. Just like the 20th century was 1900 through 1999 AD. You got that?
Yeah, so just remember that when 2099 comes.
2099. You really think I'm going to live that long?
You never know. They may have a discovery in science that...
I'd be 155 years old.
That'd be a record.
I don't want to live to be 155. There's no way. Anyway, I want to go home to Jesus. All right. Here's a news story you don't know about.
It's true.
Mr. Smarty Pants.
Yes.
Do you know who is... There are two names at the top of Hillary Clinton's VP list that was put out yesterday. Do you know who they are?
I do not.
Well, one of them is former Governor Tom Vilsack. He's current Secretary of Agriculture. He was born in 1950 in Pittsburgh. He was placed in a Catholic orphanage several days after his birth. His name was Kenneth before he was adopted as an infant by Bud and Dolly Vilsack. His father was a real estate agent and insurance salesman. His mother was a homemaker. In 1968, Vilsack met an Iowa girl, Anne Christine Bell, while attending Hamilton College in New York. They married on August 18th, 1973, in her hometown of Mount Pleasant, Iowa. Hey. Vilsack then received a law degree from Albany Law School in 1975. The company moved to Mount Pleasant the same year, where Vilsack began practicing law in his father-in-law's law office, Tom Bell. So there's a very good chance. I mean, there's a better than 50% chance, I think, that Tom Vilsack will be nominated and therefore run as Hillary Clinton's running mate as vice president.
Not Elizabeth Warren?
No. That was sarcastic, right?
I think she was one of the top ones, too.
No. Her and Hillary do not get along. I mean, that's just two people you don't put in the same room.
Wasn't there a third person?
Well, there was a second person, and I don't recall who that was. I believe it was maybe a female. Oh no, it was the governor of. It was the governor of someplace. Google it. You'll find out.
So Google governor of someplace, and you'll find out.
No. Google Hillary Clinton's running mates or running mate, and you'll find out what it is. So That would be a really cool thing for Iowa.
I just picture Hillary Clinton jogging down the street with all of her other running mates, waving at the neighbors, and her.
Okay, let me see.
I think somebody's calling in, probably Paul,
Michael, Cindy,
Paul,
Joseph,
Okay.
Leonard.
Okay. Tom Perez.
and he is the governor
Labor
of what?
Secretary Tom Perez is one, and Vilsack. Let's see. Senator Tim Kaine, former governor,
Yeah, that's the one.
mayor,
I'm thinking of.
one-time Catholic missionary. Tom Vilsack and Tom Perez. He's a Hispanic.
I had a call from the infamous Frank saying
What's he doing? Don't let
to
him.
tell Goober that it's Cory Booker.
Cory Booker?
I asked him who it was, and he hung up because I don't know who that is.
Well, Google Cory Booker, and we'll find out. All right. So, would that make you, Chris, vote for Hillary Clinton if Tom Vilsack was on the vice president's list? Or, I mean, if he was the nominee?
Nope.
Wouldn't change anything?
Nah.
But how about you, Jebediah? Would that change? Would you cross the tracks and go vote for Vilsack? Or go vote for Hillary if Vilsack was on the ticket?
No.
Robert?
Okay, Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Remains under VP consideration for Clinton. Somebody else.
New Jersey. New Jersey. You know, I'm from New Jersey.
I'm from Jersey.
You know, my Uncle Guido is still living with me, and he has not come on the radio in a while. We should get him on the radio to talk about Cory Booker, because he'd know him, because he's from New Jersey. Okay, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, a flurry of changes headed for Fleur Drive. We also have a little bit of information on what may or may not be going on in Brazil, because the Summer Olympics are about to start. And a transgendered male who is a longtime Iowa Department of Corrections nurse has filed a complaint against the state. We're coming back with that and more.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Hey everybody, I brought Northern Lights Pizza! And it's got Graziano sausage!
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for the opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens, rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
21 minutes after 3 o'clock, 3:21, I am happy to announce to you that with the help of Seth Walker, I have agreed to purchase another property here in Des Moines. I can't begin to tell you what a pleasure it is to work with Seth. I have worked with many real estate agents in my life, including myself, and I sucked. No, I did. I was a terrible real estate agent. I thought all that and more. Why am I giving 7% of my property to some agent? I'll just go get my own license and do it myself. And I was bad agent because I don't like sellers. Sellers are mean people. You do an open house for a seller and they call you 1 minute after it's over. Did you sell my house? No. Why not? Well, you said you were the best. No, I said, yes, you did. Okay. Seth is not like that. He is wonderful. I would strongly encourage you to call Seth and get an analysis of your property, see if it's time to sell, or if you're looking to buy, hitch your wagon to him because he's a good guy, good Christian man. Seth Walker, 577-3728.
Mac, over the weekend, I was convinced that radio advertising works because over the weekend I was on vacation with my family and my wife, and I actually entertained the thought of selling my house. I just moved in a year ago, and because we talk about Seth Walker so much, I was literally considering selling my house, and I thought, man, advertising is just too persuasive. So I got to stop listening to you tell me that I should sell my house with Seth Walker because I might just do it. And I don't want to move again. I just moved in. We're still unpacking.
Well, now's a good time to sell because you're not unpacked yet.
I know. It'd be easier to get out of there. You're probably right. I don't know, Seth. Maybe I'm going to have to call you. My wife might be upset if I do it without talking to her first. So, but anyway, Seth Walker's a good guy, real estate agent there. You know, his office is on Douglas.
Yeah, it's
just down the street from us.
Yeah, it's like what would that be? That'd be about 75th and Douglas,
something like that. I always think of it. It's east of the Aldi. If you know where the Aldi is on Douglas, it's east. It's in that shopping center behind there. There's across the street from Northern Lights Pizza. That's where it is, isn't it? Am I right?
No.
It's further east than that?
I don't know. Aldi's? Isn't Aldi's on Meredith?
No. Aldi is on
Fairway's on Meredith.
Yeah. Aldi's on...
Oh, you're right. It's just east. Yes, you're correct.
That's that location there.
Okay.
Yep. Anyway, so you can stop in there or give them a call at 577-3728.
All right, 24 minutes after the hour on the 21st day of July in the Lord's third millennium. Thank you, Robert. We're supposed to have Michael Damastis coming in here later on, and we'll talk about the convention and cruise and all this stuff going on, and I just don't know. I don't know. You know what? I've been real surprised at how little I've cared about this convention this year. I really am. And you know why? It's because I now know in my heart that Jesus is in charge and that God has a plan. He's going to put that leader in place. I'm going to vote. I'm still going to exercise my right as a citizen to vote. But it's just one more thing I've given to God. You know, God, whoever you want to lead this country, if it's another Satan like Obama. I'm sorry. Did I say that? Just God, it's yours. And I haven't watched hardly any of the convention. Now, Frank, if somebody put quarters in Frank, you know what I mean by that when I say that? Wasn't he just something else yesterday, Bob?
Yeah, he was really on fire.
Yeah, he kept talking to Bob and telling Bob what to do. I'm about ready to tell him to get his own laptop. Would you like me to do that? As the person who's in charge of this program, would you like for me to tell Mr. Frank to get his own darn laptop?
If you thought he was good on the show yesterday, you should have seen his social media posts. Those are even better.
Why? What were those about?
I'll leave it up to you, but it's on Facebook, so you can go see it.
Was it about politics?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, no, you don't need to tell him that.
Get his own laptop?
Because he has another one.
Yeah. Well, no, that's mine.
Oh, that's yours?
Yeah, he uses my laptop.
Can he get your laptop in here?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. But would you like him to stop messing with yours?
Well, he doesn't really mess with mine.
Okay.
But the thing is,
All
when he's
right,
talking,
fine. I'm just saying.
When he's talking to me, I can't.
I know.
You're talking to me.
I know. See, Chris, has he said anything to you while I'm talking to you? No. Chris is a professional broadcaster. Frank is a feral cat. All right. I wish Frank, you know what I wish Frank? I wish Frank would find a nice lady that he could be friends with and that would believe all the beep that comes out of his mouth, and so he wouldn't come and lay it all on us. Oh, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. All right. Something serious. Can we get to something serious now? You guys keep talking about Frank, and it's driving me crazy.
Well, I guess so.
You have something you'd rather bring up?
Oh, I was just thinking about something else. We can talk about it later.
No, we need to talk about it now because now I'm curious.
Well, I was just thinking that thinking about moving. I was thinking about one of the things I have a lot of is board games. I have a lot of board games, but there are 2 board games that I still play regularly that I got at a garage sale around this time last year. It was the garage sale at First Church of the Open Bible. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We actually did a live broadcast from a garage sale last year. We took all the equipment down there. It was a big ordeal to set all that stuff up. And we were in First Church of the Open Bible has a large gym. They filled this gym with all kinds of great stuff. They actually even had a remember that, the Gold Wing
I remember the Gold Wing.
They auctioned off a Gold Wing motorcycle. It was a big deal last year. This year we're going to do something a little fun. I'm going to actually go down each day to the garage sale and report live to you guys from the garage sale on the stuff that they've got running around and let you know.
So you're going to call in.
I'm going to call in. I'm going to go down there and pick up stuff. And Matt got stuff that year. I got 2 games and I still play them. So anyway, that is the First Church of the Open Bible garage sale. Is a 3-day garage sale. It's huge. Like I said, it fills a whole gym. It's Thursday through Saturday, August 4th through the 6th. Thursday through Saturday, August 4th through the 6th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Their church is located on the corner of Beaver and Hickman. I recommend going out. This supports their missions. This is a big missions fundraising event that they have every year, and it's really fun.
So do the people from the church contribute items, or is it open to anybody contributing items? Or
That's a great question. I don't know. I'll have to text Pastor Spencer and find that out. I think it's folks from the church.
Yeah.
But they had lots of really big stuff.
No. Well, yeah, Spencer will have to tell us.
But it's open to everybody.
It's
open for everybody to buy stuff.
Right.
But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Spencer's listening. He could call and tell us.
Yeah, he can call and tell us. But I will tell you, if you're a treasure hunter, these things are fantastic. And it was huge. I mean, they had a ton of stuff. And it was cool stuff. A lot of neat stuff. Do you remember what you got, Mac? You got a
Elmo.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Remember that? We had Tickle Me Elmo he got last year there, and Tickle Me Elmo was live on the radio, so it'll be lots of fun. Anyway, that was what was on my mind as I was thinking about moving and packing up my board games. I got Advanced Boardwalk, which is a great game, and Pushover.
Boy, I'm not familiar with those games.
Yeah.
Are they new or are they old?
They're old. A very obscure one is designed by Alex Randolph, one of my favorite game designer. And the other one, even though it sounds like it's related to Monopoly, is nothing like it. It's called Advanced Boardwalk.
Now, is this guy Alex, you say? Is he still alive?
No, he died. He was one of the most prolific board game designers in the world at one time when he was alive. Him and Sid Saxon.
Look at that. I can still learn things.
Look at that.
All right. So we have to vote here. There's 4 of us.
Okay.
So Frank's on hold.
Is he going to talk about the garage sale?
I don't know what he's going to talk about. He's going to probably talk about politics. So I vote no. Jeb, do you vote yes or no to put Frank on?
I want him to read his social media post, so yes.
Oh, wait, is it vulgar?
No.
It's not vulgar.
Frank's
no.
not vulgar. He's never vulgar. Bob, yes or no?
Sure. Why not?
Go ahead.
As long as that's all.
Go ahead. Make me the only one.
I would rather. Let's time limit it. He can read the post and then we hang up.
Okay. Frank, go ahead. You heard it. Read the post, and then we're hanging up.
Well, first, we want to talk about quarters and sticking quarters in something. We got that ratty little Elmo last year at the garage sale. Mr. Weiner Elmo.
That's hilarious.
You know you love him though. He was great. Do you remember? We
You
just
want me to go get him and bring him in here.
You could.
guys talk. I'll go
Hey
get him.
Frank, did you know this is true story, bud? Did you know that he just got new Tickle Me Elmo just got new batteries like last week?
Oh, swell.
So he's fully charged, ready to go.
Okay, now speaking of roll-off,
Yes, speak about me.
sitting in Wrigley Field, was you down in the Steve Bartman seating?
You know, I know the Steve Bartman story slightly, but I'm not exactly sure where his seats were.
Steve, he stuck his hand out and grabbed what would have been what some feel would have been a home run or touched a foul ball or something that created the Cubs to lose Game 6 or something. And then
Well, he caught what would have been an out.
Yes,
it would have
feel
been.
like-
It would not have been a home run, but he reached over the fence and caught it, preventing the possibility of an out and making it a home run.
Well, here's my new strategy.
Wait, hold on. We have a special guest in the studio. Let's say hi.
Okay, Weiner.
Go ahead. Tell me, Elmo.
Let's play. I want to think of just the right story to tell you.
Okay, Elmo, tell me.
Okay, let's play. I want to think of just the right story to tell you.
Okay, Elmo, tell me.
Okay, let's play.
All right, I think Elmo.
He's stuck on the one thing.
Elmo's a freaking broken record.
You know what I think, Frank? I think you're jealous of Elmo because he could do a better job on this show than you could.
I'm jealous because Elmo has brighter red hair than me.
That's true. He does have beautiful, bright red hair.
Okay, now I will ad-lib my post that Jeb's probably talking about. The day after, if the people who support Never Trump cause Donald Trump to lose and Hillary to win, the day after the 2016 election, Frank the Verse will personally start a campaign, Never Cruz 2020.
And you think Ted Cruz is a sore loser? Boy, howdy, you sound like a sore loser, Frank.
No, I would have supported Ted Cruz had he been the nominee this time. But he signed a pledge. So as
he did.
As my friend Patrick on Facebook said, he's lying. He's a liar. He has shown himself to be compromised as a liar because he promised on the stage in Cleveland at the first debate that he would support the nominee.
Wow, this is what's really funny about Trump supporters like Frank is that they're really upset at the guy who's not running. They're really upset at the guy who has no skin in the game, the guy who just gave a speech at the RNC. We're not upset about the fact that Trump's a liar. We're not upset about the fact that Trump supports all kinds of heinous things, that he's we're not upset with Trump. You're fine with anything and everything Trump does, but Ted Cruz, who's just a guy who's a senator who happened to speak at the RNC convention, you're most upset because he didn't bend the knee to the almighty Trump. Is that what you're saying?
There's only two choices in this. It's Hillary or Trump.
No, it's not Hillary or Trump. There's lots of other people that are running.
But no one has a chance.
Well, Frank, you know, there was a disclaimer that on that when he signed it, the disclaimer was, if he insults my wife and my dad, then this doesn't apply. Did you remember hearing that?
Yeah, I heard that one. But let's, in disclosure, say who started the wife wars, and it wasn't Donald Trump. It was a Ted Cruz super PAC, and let's not kid ourselves that these guys have communications with their super PACs. Let's not even go there and kid ourselves. Is the ones that posted a scantily clad picture of Melania Trump.
Hey, Frank, can I just interject there? Let's think about this. So if Ted Cruz...
Hey, Chris, can I just interject there for a minute?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
We're going up against a break. So, Frank, you got more time because you're... I don't know why, because Chris is engaging you. I thought you were taking your mother to a funeral.
She's now home.
Oh, so rather than come in and do your job like you're paid to do, you're going to sit on the phone.
I couldn't get there in time.
Okay, it's going to be one of those days. I can just feel it. Harry, Carrie, and Frank all in the same hour. Coming back live.
Northern Lights Pizza's amazing garlic butter makes amazing breadsticks. Now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza.
I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Hobbs,
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're going to make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
.338, 22 minutes before the top of the hour. Elmo's here.
I like to think of just a mad story to tell you.
What would you like to tell me, Elmo?
Okay, let's play.
Okay, let's play.
Okay, let's play. I like to think of just a mad story to tell you.
He's got some.
Almost got it. One day,
Oh, now he was going to tell the story. I've been waiting all day to hear the story from Elmo.
Well, I can't hold him, and I can't keep Frank on the phone like this because we're running up minutes on his cell phone, and the poor guy, he's only got so many minutes. All right, Frank and Chris, go ahead.
No, I'm on a landline.
Oh, great! Now, well, there's no reason to hang up now, right?
My basic.
Just let him have the whole show. Here, I'm going to go, and you and Chris can go and eat Chicago deep dish and buy cigar boxes.
Did you have pizza? Did you have the supposed best pizza in Chicago, which is Pizzeria That's the very thick deep dish pizza.
I had very thick, deep dish pizza from Chicago.
Okay.
Yes, it was fantastic.
Okay, well, here's my issue with the campaign so far last night. Donald Trump was the bigger man in the situation. He allowed Ted Cruz to come into his house, into his campaign.
Sorry, I'm not
and have a speech with no promise in advance that there was going to be an endorsement or not. So Trump clearly made the offer, the olive branch out to the Ted Cruz supporters. If and I think he gave that other offer to Kasich. He gave it to Carly Fiorina. I assume he gave it to everybody. Everybody who was on the stage with him had an offer to come and speak. There's those that came and speak and those who didn't. Cruz took the offer to come. He wouldn't endorse, and it kind of ticked off even some of his own supporters. Apparently after he went up to see Sheldon Adelson, one of the richest men in America, a billionaire over, and Sheldon Adelson wouldn't let him in his skybox, and they had to escort Mrs. Cruz out the building for security. And right after the event, come out a Ted Cruz 2020 fundraiser. So he went there with the intentions of snubbing Trump and to start his fundraising campaign for the 2020 campaign season.
How dare he, Bob? How dare Ted Cruz do something political?
I just think that they wanted to put some excitement into the convention because there hasn't been much.
It was pretty boring at this point.
Yeah, so that just got things rolling.
It really did. But it wasn't the RNC convention. It was Donald Trump's event. I don't know if you heard that. This was just a big Donald Trump event that he put on, and he just invited a bunch of Republicans to it. I don't know if you knew that. Did you know that, Bob?
I did not.
It was just a bunch of Republicans happened to show up at Donald Trump's event this week. I don't know if you picked up on that. It was Donald Trump's event. It wasn't. It looked and sounded a lot like the Republican National Committee's convention, but really it was just a Trump event.
So,
hey, hold on, Frank. Hold on, Chris. Just a little asterisk over here. Drop down here and read. The convention is always about the nominee. So it was about Trump, and then it was about Romney. And then, that's just the way it is. Okay, once they are the nominee or the expected nominee, they kind of run the show. Their campaign committee comes in and runs the show. So
after the vote on Tuesday.
Well, no, not really. Monday night was all about Trump. He would not have been able to walk on stage and introduce his wife if the RNC was in charge. His wife wouldn't have spoken. It'll be the same way next week. I'm not being critical. I'm just saying this is the way convention. I've been there.
But, Mac, here's the basic problem I have with Ted Cruz. It goes back way before this campaign season.
Frank, just so you know, he's not like running for president. No. Right now, Donald Trump is. So it's kind of like Donald Trump fans are all their favorite thing is that everybody else is terrible. Hillary's terrible, so I'm voting for Donald Trump. Ted Cruz is terrible, so I'm voting for Donald Trump. Everybody's just terrible, so since I can't have all those terrible people because they're terrible, I'll just go with Donald Trump.
Since Cruz ran for Senate, okay, he has been politically posturing with all his votes in the Senate, his filibusters in the Senate. Everything that he has done since he has been in the U.S. Senate has been political posturing to run for 2016. Now, since he didn't get to be the nominee in 2016, last night was his opportunity to start political posturing all over again, and what he done last night was commit political suicide, because even the pundits who are on his side said that there's no way that the money and the people that is supporting Trump are going to go to him in 2020 if they cut the party's throat this time. So he just cut his own throat last night because he may think he's standing on principle, but the money's not going to get behind him because Mitch McConnell and John Boehner and Paul Ryan, all of these guys hate Cruz to start with. So he doesn't have the backing of the party anyway.
So what did he lose? Wait a minute. He doesn't have the backing of the party anyway. So what did he lose? Ted Cruz doesn't have the support of the broader Republican Party. So he got up on the stage and he did what his supporters would have wanted him to do. He stood up for his principles. He stood his convictions, and he was bold in the face of people who oppose him. But the RNC, wait a minute, answer that. If he has no support of the Republican Party already, then why didn't he just do what was best for him?
There's more at stake than that. I think Ted Cruz, if he would have played his cards right, could have been a nomination for the Supreme Court, and he would be a lifetime appointee to go in and fight Hillary Clinton potentially, or fight whoever potentially would be a liberal president down the road. And I think he just torpedoed any chance that he has that anybody would name him as a Supreme Court nominee. So he will no longer be looked at to be president and will probably cut all chances to be a Supreme Court nominee. And I would absolutely have supported him as a Supreme Court nominee.
No, thankfully, we don't get to vote for Supreme Court.
No, it's not the fact that you're going to vote for him. I'm simply saying that
we can support whoever we want for whatever we want. We can all sit on our couches at home and get really excited about all kinds of stuff. But we unfortunately in the United States, one of the highest ruling classes in the federal government, one of the highest powers right now, the Supreme Court of the United States, we don't put them there.
Well, Chris, I know for a fact who you was supported, and you know for a fact who I supported. You were a Marco Rubio supporter, and I was a Ben Carson supporter. So this isn't neither one of our nominees. I'm simply saying suck it up, man up, and support the nominee and keep your promise that you pledged in Cleveland.
I agree with Frank. I mean, Ted, here's the funny thing. So Trump gets all this guff from, and you did it just a minute ago. You did it within the last hour. You call him that he slandered Ted Cruz by calling him Lying Ted.
Yeah.
Well, he's lying.
It was Marco
and his name's
Rubio.
Ted.
It was Marco Rubio that put the first shot of liar against Ted Cruz. It was not Donald Trump. Because Marco Rubio was accusing Ted Cruz of being a liar about his record on immigration.
Okay, has Donald Trump ever told a lie, Frank?
I'm sure he has.
Has he ever told a lie in public?
I'm sure he has.
Chris, that's okay. If
wait
that's the
a
case,
minute,
we
wait.
should all be lying Chris, lying Mac, lying Bob. The point of the matter is the man's running for office. He's running for president. He promised that he signed a pledge to support the nominee. He's now not doing it. That's a lie. That's a public lie about the campaign.
In all fairness, and I'm not an expert here, but it depends on how you define. It depends on what the definition of is, right? It depends on how you define support. Ted Cruz did not come out and bash Donald Trump.
No.
He didn't say anything negative about Donald Trump. Instead, what he did, and here's what's really amazing about this here, is that the Republican Party seems to forget that Ted Cruz did a lot to help the Republican Party if they would have heard what he did do to help, if they would have been listening instead of getting mad.
All right, Frank, hold on. I got to take you. Why don't you just get in here? What are you doing? Sitting outside, drinking a beer, just enjoying the sun while we're in here working our butts off? Man, radio people just bore me to death. Coming back live.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah!
If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens, rock on! This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
Northern Lights Pizza, your home of the tasty crust. Our garlic butter sauce now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
10 minutes before 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, Salem Radio Network News. And we have our guest for the 4 o'clock hour in early, Pastor Michael Damastis from Fort Des Moines Christian Church. Fort Des Moines Church of Christ. And
how many years now? It's a great thing. It's a great thing. I think the entire state of Iowa knows the name of his church, but I'm not sure that Mac does.
It's all right.
It's okay. It's all right. I love you, buddy. It's great. It's kind of like I should make a bingo card of all the different ways that I've heard you mispronounce the name of the church.
A bingo card.
And then every time you do one, I can stamp it. Exactly. And one of these days, I'm just going to go bingo. Sorry, it's a lot of fun, Mac. We love you.
Hey, I want to tell you about a new friend of mine, Steven Seagal. He's been on the radio. He and his wife and his mother started a franchise of Golden Heart Senior Care. And they do everything from stop by every day to make sure the meals are done to live there 24/7. It is in-home senior care from a Christian family. Would you please call him today and thank him for supporting this radio station? And if you have questions about in-home care, would you ask him about it, please? 218-1534. It's 515-218-1534. I've got a story later on. Well, I don't know if we're going to get to it. But a Madrid nursing home has repeatedly been cited by state inspectors and is now temporarily barred from accepting new residents. I mean, and this is just going to keep going on as the baby boomers get older and older. We're going to need more and more care. And I'm telling you, don't go to a home. Go to somebody that comes to your home, like Jesus. He meets you where you're at. Golden Heart Senior Care, 515-218-1534. All right. Frank, in this corner, long hair, weighing 179 pounds.
205.
And in this corner, Chris Roloff,
just north of 200.
205.
Just north.
You boys just continue.
Well,
hang on. We have a listener text that came in.
Text from the Service Legends Truth text line at 515-809-0993.
This came in. It was this. I do not have. Let's see. You want to make a previous decision? Okay, here's the comment. God told Jonah he was going to destroy Nineveh. God changed his mind based on the actions of the people. The people of Nineveh repented, if you remember that story. Ted Cruz said he would support Donald Trump. He changed his mind based on the actions of Donald Trump. That was the text that came in. It's an interesting one. What do you think about that, Frank?
Well, let me put it this way. It's called perception is reality. There's an old saying, perception is reality.
I hate that, by the way. I think that's of the accuser.
Well,
I truly do.
Here's the analogy.
I think when somebody says, well, this is what I assume it is, so therefore it's got to be true and you've got to believe it.
Here's the analogy. Whoever is the president of the United States is going to put their hand on a Bible and swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the laws of the land.
And how many of them have done that recently?
So if you got Ted Cruz immediately breaking a promise,
oh my goodness,
right out the gate to support the nominee of the party, whoever the party was, and let's recall that it was Donald Trump who did not want to raise his hand, and he was badgered in and forced into signing the commitment.
Which he reneged on, by the way, in the March debates on CNN. Thank you.
So
Donald Trump said he would not support the eventual nominee. You remember that?
Here is when you're breaking a promise right out of the gate, it doesn't look good for Ted Cruz. I'm sorry.
Seriously, Frank, you're talking about breaking a promise. A guy like Ted Cruz over a guy like Trump. You're genuinely trying to merit the validity of a truthful person, and you're putting Trump in that same sentence.
Did you support Mitt Romney last go around?
Did I support Mitt Romney?
Did you vote for Mitt Romney last election?
I honestly did, and I beat myself up about it, but I did.
So did I. And but a lot of our Christian comrades didn't because they couldn't. Steve Deace probably being one of them. So I'm simply sitting here saying, I don't like a crap sandwich, but if I have to choose between mustard and mayo on that sandwich, I'm probably going to choose because that's the choice. The choice isn't I get to do something else, because if you sit home.
Who says anything about sitting home? I'm not going to vote for Donald Trump, but I'm not sitting home.
If you vote down ballot, if you sit home or you leave the box empty, you're voting for Hillary.
That's a bunch of bunk. What about the people that are going to do the same thing on Hillary's side? They're mad because of Bernie Sanders. So that's a vote for Trump. Is that true? Is that true? I'm asking you, Frank, is that logic true?
Yes,
if a person doesn't vote for Bernie Sanders or vote for Hillary Clinton, they're voting for Trump.
To beat Hillary, you have to have all hands on deck. You have to have every hand on deck to beat her to start with.
Hey, your premise is wrong, Frank. Your entire premise is wrong. Your premise is built upon winning is everything.
She has. Do you want to look at her Supreme Court nominees for the rest of your life?
No. Do I want to look at Donald Trump's potential Supreme Court nominees?
You were committed back when we were still down at the radio studio downtown. You were committed down there saying you would never vote for Jeb Bush.
Okay.
How many guys out there are you never against?
Well, you apparently are okay with the wife of a presidential candidate posing nude for men to ogle her body over a woman who worked at a banking institution. That's okay for you, right?
Who has a conflict of interest? Because Goldman Sachs' official policy is to encourage their employees to go into government. Why is that?
And that's worse in your mind than entering into the pornography industry.
Well, if you call what Melania done pornography, I don't know. But I'm just
really, Frank. We're going to debate the merits of posing nude for men to ogle our bodies.
Was this time they would have had my support, including Ted Cruz and including Jeb Bush.
And that's good, Frank, and that's good that you're willing to stand and support whoever the Republican nominee is. But what I don't understand is that Trump supporters, and you're not speaking for all Trump supporters, and I'm not speaking for any sole person, I'm just speaking for myself here. But you're calling Ted Cruz being a sore loser, and you're throwing a fit. Ted Cruz encouraged you, Frank, to vote your conscience. Ted Cruz says, Frank, vote for the man that you believe in. And you say, how dare you, Ted Cruz? I'm going to vote for Donald Trump whether you tell me to or not. And Ted Cruz just said, hey, Frank, vote for who you want to vote for. Why does that make you upset when someone says vote for Donald Trump if you want to? Why are you upset about that?
I didn't perceive it as that. If you want to perceive it as that, that's your free right too. I did not perceive it as that, because you could take that either way. Vote your conscience against. He could be signaling vote against Trump. He could be signaling vote for Hillary. He could be signaling vote for nobody. But none of them sitting home, down ballot, leave the box empty is all a vote for Hillary, because it takes all hands on deck to beat this woman.
All right, Frank, thank you very much for being on the radio show today. You have the rest of the week off. Whew. 3:58. You know what I want to talk about? I want to talk about communion. Can we talk about communion?
That'd be great.
I'd love to talk about communion.
Yes.
We're going to do that next hour with Pastor Michael Damastis from the Fort Des Moines Church of Christ, right there on Army Post Road, a church you should visit. Sundays are what time?
10 a.m. worship.
All right. We're coming back live here on The Truth. Remember, forgive. Gosh darn it, forgive. It's what Jesus taught you to do. Because as you forgive, you will be forgiven. See you next hour.